And what is going on, guys? Flip Masters coming back at you with episode 4 of Hell's Kitchen season 24, Battle of the States. And I am so excited. You guys obviously had a lot of fun with all the season 16 tea from our first guest this season with Pat and Kim. And so joining us 2 weeks later is not only someone from season 16, the finalist from that season, no less, but also one of the few two-time Black Jacket chefs as well in season 18. I am so excited to be joined by Heather Williams. Heather, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yes, absolutely. And so it looks like, guys, we got a bunch of hellos and a hello, Heather. Yes, guys, of course, we'll have a lot
Hey,
of questions.
everyone.
Yes. Looking beautiful. It says Party Pickles. So, yeah, obviously, guys, have our questions
Thank
for
you.
Heather throughout this podcast about her seasons along with this episode. And yeah, we got unfortunately, guys. So it looks like, just to give you all a heads up right away, he might pop up in the middle of this episode, but it looks like something happened to Jem at the last second. So it looks like no game tonight. So and no comments from our awesome Jem. But you know what? Ultra can still be with us, and it looked like for a second, Ultra, you were gonna miss almost half the episode, but you were able to watch it all, right?
Yeah, minus the recap because I had a doctor's appointment like right before the episode, but and I'm in a place that has pretty crummy signal, so I was like, even my phone won't really get to it. But yeah, I got to my apartment right as it was starting, so the most I missed was just like the previously on stuff, which if you saw last episode, and I did, I don't really need it. So I got to at least the opening, so we're good.
Yeah. And of course, we are rounded out by Survivor Gumball. Gumball, how are you doing? How are you feeling about the power rankings?
I'm doing pretty well here tonight. Interesting episode, I'll say that much. In terms of the power ranking, I don't know how much has really changed, if I'm being honest. Like, I'll need to think about it a bit more, but yeah, it was an interesting episode. I'll say that at least.
Yeah, definitely not quite as boom, bam, bam, bam as like the previous 2 episodes, but a lot of interesting stuff. Again, especially character wise, I'm kind of interested to talk about, especially you, Gumball, being the power rankings guy, to give your thoughts and all that. So yeah, guys, like I said, we can even start. Screw it. Since we're here, since we got more time, it feels. Let's start with the question here. Heather, how would you describe your and Trev's friendship in season 18? He thought it was pretty cute. So yeah, Trev's always been an interesting figure. What did you kind of feel about that?
I love Trevor. He was my safe space. He was actually a really good friend of mine, still is to this day. I actually shared a room with him and Brett. So it was kind of like he was my person to talk to when they weren't snoring and keeping me awake. But I love Trev, and I wish him all the best, and I hope he's doing well in Florida.
All right, cool. All right, so let's get on into this episode here. So, Ultra, like I said, you missed the recap, but you go right in away with the Anaya and Alexandria beef kind of happening. So, yeah, do you feel like I said, I was kind of wondering how Alexandria's episode would go, and yeah, there's a lot to say about her this episode. So, yeah, what's your? I mean, we'll obviously talk more about her throughout the episode, but overall thoughts, about Alexandria so far. Again, kind of being this motherly figure that she's just going all in.
Given we're in the presence of Heather, who has 2 seasons that had pretty unlikable villains, like villains you didn't want to watch. Season 16 Blue Team's all accounted for, and Gia. And then in season 18, you had Scott Lee. Compared to that, Alexandra is a breath of fresh air as far as antagonists go. And even then, I'm sure a good chunk of that is based off of the edit. I don't think she's done anything yet that I can say overboard. And everyone's like, what about her flicking off Elena last episode? I think that's in fair game. If you were directly flipping off Gordon Ramsay, that I'd say is a problem. He's around. She didn't do it to him. That I'd say is a step too far. But no, she's otherwise just doing things in the name of the game. And yeah, I don't know. It's the fun kind of villain stuff for me. And when she has that fight in the hallway with Anaya, it kind of dawns on me that while I don't know if Anaya is villainous per se, she and Alexandra have a couple things in common because I can see why they'd be butting heads as much as they are. The one difference is that Anaya has yet to really slip up at any point, whereas Alex did have a pretty bad service last episode. So that might be why she's getting a little bit more of the brunt compared to Anaya.
That's the interesting about this thing, because it seems like that's the main rivalry is Anaya and Alexandria. But as we'll get in this episode, Anaya had quite the interesting episode. Who's, we're supposed to be like, she's going against Alexandria, who's supposed to be a villain. But I kind of wonder what this might mean for Alexandria's arc going forward if Anaya is going to act this way. So we'll talk more about that. But speaking of Ramsey, Ultra, I know this is going to be your question, but since I see Savage Gamers are asking it, let's just get it out of the way now. Because we all want to know. We're all so confused. Yeah, go for it. We are.
Please. That's why.
That moment will go down in history as one of the best fuck ups by Jen. Because so what happened was I was next to her on Garnish. Jen's on Garnish. She's working it. I'm over on Fish. No problem. So we're having a good service. She's keeping up. I'm like telling her she needs to season things because it's bland. Things are coming back. And I look over and I'm just like, where'd that duck garnish go? And she is like, oh, I put it up. I said, there wasn't enough. And she's like, no, it's up. He got it. And I said, okay. So chef tries to start plating and he is like, there's not enough duck garnish. And I look at her and then she looks at him and she's like, oh, you took it from underneath the pass. You took it from under the pan, chef. You got somebody else's garnish and I'm not having it and da-da-da-da. And she just took it above and beyond more than it should have. And I will give you like an insider tip, what made me laugh hysterically. So as she's ranting and raving, when we get taken into the back because chef doesn't want us all fighting, in front of the guest perspective and things like that, as we're walking back through, I see another pan of duck garnish that she didn't fire and she had ready sitting on the grill, like sitting on the ledge of the grill. And I'm like, you messed up. You put the wrong pan in the pass. So you're going to sit there and you're going to dog out Gordon Ramsay because you screwed up.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're an idiot. So then she takes her own chef coat off, throws it at chef, and she walks out. Well, then we get like halfway through dinner service. Here she walks back in. Like we didn't even see this. We were told after by production. She walks back in after doing the walkout, sits at the bar and asks Marino for Prosecco. And then she said she wanted to talk to production to be let back on the show. And they were like, absolutely not. I'm like, this bitch got balls.
That's amazing.
What the heck is wrong?
Right?
Oh my God. That whole
Oh my God.
I had to.
Oh my God.
Why would they leave that out? That would have been fucking hilarious.
I literally watched that clip when I was going through your videos. I was like, I have to rewatch this. This is great.
No, I kind of wish.
Scruffy, I wish they did.
This production telling you to fuck off. Are you kidding me? That's amazing.
I swear, I should be a Hell's Kitchen producer because I'd be like, no,
yeah.
can't leave
Oh
this
my
out.
God.
This is perfect.
That's guys, and that's exactly why I have loving guests on, especially guests like Heather, who was on 2 pretty infamous seasons. But but not just guests joining us here. We got looks like he could make it after our co-host is back, who just missed this conversation. Jem is with us after all. What happened, man?
As you all know, last week I got a new job, so I was just asking for someone's counsel regarding something that happened today or yesterday. But
so you're saying your job is more important than this podcast and listening to what just happened?
Dude, I'm not getting paid for this, so of course.
Okay. Well,
the
amount of money isn't worth what you just heard from Heather. Did you hear the story?
I just tuned in to hear, oh, what the fuck? They should have added that Jen scene. And I'm like, I want to hear it now.
Yeah.
So I was telling the guys, like the whole scene that happened with Jen, she went 110% in on Gordon Ramsay. And what was funny is when we got pulled into the back of the kitchen to like have him scream at us, she comes back out. And as I'm walking with her, I look over on the grill and there's a pan of like duck veg waiting to go on the grill to be like cooked. She never fired it. So she brought up an old pan that still had a little bit of veg in for the duck. And then when she saw that, that's when she really honed in on Gordon and just kept getting louder and louder. And that's when she ripped her coat off, gave it to Chef Ramsay. She walks out. And then while we're still doing dinner service, we get told by production later, she walked back in, sat at the bar, asked Marino for a glass of Prosecco. They denied her and then told her, she was like, oh, can I just put my jacket back on and go back on? And they were like, absolutely not.
Ouch.
The
Yeah,
audacity.
she was such an idiot.
Oh my god.
Such an idiot.
And that's the funny thing too. As ridiculous as it sounds, like it makes sense from someone like Jen, Jen too. That's the funny thing about it. Oh,
Like,
man.
Oh, and she
believe
was
it,
like,
yeah.
she kept going in about her chef coats and her brand. And I was like, oh, so how much are your chef coats? She's like, oh, they're like $100 and some. I was like, okay, I'm good. Like, I don't need a leopard chef coat. Thank you.
Those,
And a beret.
I don't know how it's gonna sound, but it looked tacky anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my god. Because this moment's already iconic as it is. Now that adds like a whole new layer to it. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Amazing.
Caroline, it's definitely one for the books. I wish you guys could have been there or like at least seen it. I wish they had like clips of things that happened that didn't make the cut.
Oh my god.
Oh, they did for
You know what I mean?
One
those-
season out of 24. That's what's sad.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like there's a raw uncut version of season 2 that's out, which gives
Okay.
Yeah, with the other
pretty big
Heather.
chunk of those season
Yeah.
of both services, so you miss a couple things that you wouldn't have known about. I recommend
Okay.
it. It's very insightful. But that's
great.
it.
I wish we had like a reunion show. How most like reality TV things
Right,
have
yeah.
like a recap at the end. I wish we would have had that.
Yeah, well, I think we kind of do that here unofficially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's
I-
great.
I-
I
but
love
I have
that
to
you
say,
guys
though-
do podcasts like this
Yeah,
I have to
yeah.
and
say,
like
though,
YouTube
Ultra-
channels.
Yeah, but I have to say the Ultra, like it's funny you bring up season 2, the raw and uncut edition, because I was upstairs, I was thinking, oh yeah, Heather Williams is the guest tonight. But before as I was thinking the name in my head, I was thinking
You were
Heather
thinking
Williams.
West.
I was
weren't
thinking
you?
Heather
Yeah.
Williams is the guest
I
tonight.
always
It's
said
like,
that, yeah.
no, wrong one.
Yeah, I got to meet her on 16, her and Scott. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, so that's really cool. Cool.
Yeah,
I
they
think
were at
that's
our
cool,
first
yeah.
dinner.
So I got to. So here's another question about season 18. You know about the other like infamous person from that season. What was Scotty like? I know he was on your team, but was he like, okay, yeah, just go for it. Whatever you want to do.
So
That's what we're here for. Yeah.
Scott Lee is a very, very talented chef. I will never knock him for that. He is doing big things. Multiple restaurants, has a collab with McDonald's. Like he's doing big things. The guy is very talented, but when he honed in on Trevor, it was like, hi, Kim.
Yeah, sure. Hello, Kim.
It was like when he sunk his teeth in, that was it. Trevor had no chance. It was like a wolf that had a taste for blood. Anything
That's
that
what it
he
is,
did,
bad.
it was bad. And as a friend of Trevor's, like, I felt so sorry for him because it was like every dinner service, he did something. And then he kept calling him baby girl. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is weird. That's a little weird. But the how do I say this? Because I like Scott Lee. I don't have problems with him, but he was very arrogant and very pompous. And it definitely showed, and it definitely gave really bad vibes and taste in your mouth with that. But I mean, to watch some of the clips and like some of the episodes and see what Trevor was going through, like my heart broke for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I about Trev, I'm curious about one thing regarding Trev.
Sure.
Do you? When I was watching season 18, I'm going to be honest about Trev. Like, as much as I didn't care for Scott Lee, I didn't care for watching Scott Lee. I even didn't care to a certain extent for watching Brett. I also didn't care to a degree for watching Trev. I felt like Trev
Right.
had his own share of problems behavior wise. So what are your inputs on that?
Trevor's dramatic. He's very dramatic. I definitely will say that with the greatest intentions. And how do I say it? Like, he's talented, but does some really weird shit that doesn't make sense. And
Yeah,
then when he doesn't get good critique, he just like goes off the rail. It's kind of like Matt with the dub bolognese.
Or
Yeah.
with Trev in season 8 with the blended frog legs.
Ooh, yeah.
That's what
Also-
I'm thinking back to. I'm
also,
like, yeah, this
what-
does kind of make sense.
Was Trev able to dress a salad in season 16 at least?
So, I had some trouble with Trev on hot apps when we were on Mia's team. So, it's like little behind the scenes with that. I ended up working hot apps, the meat station, and running clear on the other side, doing helping Ro on pork. And then I'm doing like 5 different things, and I just keep running back and forth. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, nobody knows how to cook. I was like, Ro's giving raw pork. He can't cook risotto. So then I'm cooking it and I'm passing the dishes off to him. I'm like, here, run that. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, I'm literally sweating my ass off, about to die from heat stroke. And he's just like, da, 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 da. I'm like, Trev, like, what are you doing? So the salad thing, I mean, I definitely saw some horrid dressed salads, but I can't really say because I was in the other kitchen.
Yes. So, guys, real quick, since someone said this, I'll just say it right now since we got a lively chat here. That is the plan for next week. You know, I saw someone
Yes,
say,
Barbie.
Yeah.
Barbie
I
doll.
don't think I told my co-host that. I can't promise right now, but that is the plan for next week to have Barbie on. So we're going with the T. First we had Heather, Kim, and Pat. So now we got Barbie to talk about seasons 10 and 17.
Oh, I
So
can't wait to watch that.
that's what I'm
Man, a
saying,
bunch
guys.
of like toxic seasons. I mean,
That's
okay,
what
I
I'm
actually kind of
thinking.
like season
Yeah.
10, but
I feel like
So, yeah.
I feel like the problem with no
That's
offense, but I feel like the problem with you, Heather, is that like you come off the back of Kimberly and Pat, where we just talked about season 16. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
like,
Well, that's the good thing, though. is
there's
season
still different
17,
angles of toxicity that go over.
fair enough.
Poor Pat and being the first to leave.
Yeah.
On
he
one
went
hand,
he went off
poor,
about
but
that.
on the other hand,
Yeah.
almost a relief. Kind of the same thing with Jessica. It's like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
kind of want out of there too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what? Oh yeah, I should have asked about that the
Yeah,
other
so guys,
time.
we
What
have
are
a
your
look-
thoughts on Jessica? Because Jessica didn't come up much, except for like she didn't come up much in our last podcast there.
Jess is a sweetheart. She means well. She's a very mom-esque person, right? She has this sweet personality. She's very caring. She's very loving. She could cook, but I felt so bad when the guys put their claws into her. Like, that woman went through so much shit on 16 that she never should have went through. Like, it was absolutely terrible.
And I guess, oh, sorry.
Can you get into
Oh, no,
it?
no, go ahead. Good.
And I guess I'm gonna wrap it because it's probably gonna be asked eventually. Like overall, because again, Kim and Pat gave a lot of thoughts on the blue team. So overall thoughts on like the blue team, given that's the most notorious thing. And if you want to like clear the air with Andrew and all that stuff, if you just want to go for it now, just so we can get out of the way, just go for it.
Oh, the Handrew. I that's what Kim called us. Which
Oh, okay.
thank you for that, Kimberly.
Yeah.
So it pissed me off the way that they cut and paste that whole episode together. Because there were many clips from many different days of us being there. So it was gag worthy. Like, I was uncomfortable. Absolutely uncomfortable watching that episode with my father. What I did not like is before we got casted, we all come together and we do like another interview with all the execs and all the big wigs of the show out in LA. So we kind of know who's there for the show because we see each other like walking and passing and things like that. So when we flew home, it was me, Johnny, Andrew, and Danny from season 15, all on the same flight. So we asked people to switch seats. So Johnny, myself, and Andrew all sat together for the flight home back to Philadelphia. So we're talking, shooting the shit. Like, he is talking about his son. I'm talking about my son. They're literally the same age. So I was like, wow, okay. And, we're talking and we're drinking and, we're flirting and things like that. And he's like, well, here's my number. Text me. And I said, okay. So, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, oh, I'm a single dad. You're a single mom. I said, all right, let's see where this goes. Because I'm not going to lie. He could sell shit. I'm sorry, what was that?
This was before the show
This
started.
is before the season even came on. Because, I want to
Was this
give
before the
backstory.
relationship with the other girl.
So he was in the relationship with this woman and I had no idea.
Oh yeah.
He claimed you single.
So
And
that's why I'm trying to give backstory before the show even started, because I had no idea he was engaged at all.
I believe that. Like I
Thank
never
you.
got indication from the edit that you thought that you knew anything.
I don't get that either, because I think in the edit you even stated like point blank, and the show made it clear that you did not
Yeah.
know and you were surprised.
It was so bad. What made it the worst is when, so, and I'm just gonna say this. He was such a piece of shit to me before Family came out, and he literally waits until we're back on camera and back on our mic pack to tell me that he is engaged. He told me the night before Family came out, and I fucking went nuts. I went absolutely nuts because he had plenty of opportunity to tell me when we were not on camera or we were not mic'd up. And I thought that would have been a little more respectful than to put me on blast on national TV. Because I even said to him, I said, I have to watch this with my goddamn family.
Yeah.
And my son is going to Google this one day. Like, it's going to follow me for the rest of my life.
And it shouldn't.
Yeah,
as anybody who watches my channel,
What?
what I'm hearing right now reminds me exactly of Sky and Dave in Total Drama Pocket 2 Island. If you don't know what
Dude,
that
that's some cartoon bullshit. This is like real life
yeah,
stuff.
like
I can't even tell you like the foul shit that has been said to me. It got so bad to a point that I had to shut down social media because I was so depressed that I was like becoming a freaking skeleton. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't being a mom. My mother and my father were like raising my son. I was going to work, I was coming home, and I was like locking myself in my room and bawling reading comments. It became an addiction. Like I needed to know what was being said about me, but it hurt so bad to read those things.
Yeah, I'm sorry you went through
I
that.
feel that. I'm sorry.
Like it was so terrible, and I can't share the picture now or like kind of the whole thing behind it, but I'm doing an event December 9th with a local woman who is bringing to light like mental health awareness and addiction awareness in the industry. And my whole backstory is phenomenal. Like I can't wait to share it with you guys because the photos that we took take my breath away and like just make me cry of how much growth and progress I've made since this show and since that bullshit with Andrew.
Yeah.
There's a lot I think you should be proud of. I'm just proud of how you went toe to toe with Matt in his final service because I'm like,
I wanted
man,
to
I'm so
punch
sick
him
of
in
this
the
punk.
face. Oh my god, I wanted to fucking hit him.
Heather,
I
that part
would've
about
too.
Heather, that part about you finding out like the night before that Andrew was engaged. I feel like I've heard that before. Did you mention it on Reddit and on the Nats community?
Every single podcast or interview that I've done, my story has been the same. I've never switched up. I've never changed anything because I had people like, oh, you're just saying that because you don't want to be looked at in a certain light. Listen, if I want to be a homewrecker, I'll choose to be a homewrecker. I'm not going to have somebody put me in a position that I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know who gets more blame on this, Andrew or the producers, because they didn't make it clearer that you didn't.
Well,
like, I knew well enough, but apparently not everyone did.
And what pissed me off is like as soon as it happened and as soon as like my whole demeanor changed, right? Like I just became like this ball of fire. My face was bright red, my ears were bright red, and they're like, "Hey, can we get you to come talk in the confessional?" And I was like, of course, because this is great TV. I'm like, fuck this. Like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
And I remember going in there and I was just like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to any of you. Like, you all knew he was engaged and you fed into the bullshit of him and I being together and seeing one another. I mean, Jesus Christ, like, we literally hung on each other in the pool at the Playboy Mansion and we were always together. Like, it was so cringeworthy now that I look back at it, but it's like he was just a comfort for me while being away from my kid and my family for so long. And you have nobody, right? Like you only have the people you're on the show with. You have no TV, you have no outside world. It's just us. So, you know, he was like my comfort coming into it because we were already talking. And then to find out that he had the fiance the entire time, that's when I looked at Heidi and I was like, awkward, because that poor woman who he was engaged to, who I still feel terrible for this to this day. I've never had a chance to speak with her because I mean, I don't know if she'd ever want to hear from me, but I hope she saw some of my interviews to genuinely know that like I did not do that on purpose. But when she came out, her whole face and demeanor was just broken because Gordon had said something about like the grandmother and fiance being there. And then he had mentioned about him and I seeing each other, which that got kind of cut out.
Also, why would Gordon do that?
So this poor woman heard about me through a glass door. So I'm like, I don't even know how she felt finding out that her fiance has been seeing a castmate the entire time. And that's when I said to Heidi, I was like, awkward, because I didn't know what else to say. And then as soon as my kid got out, I was like, fuck everybody. My kid's here. I don't care about any of them.
Also,
I still cry.
Also, Grant, I think I'm not sure if you understood what happened with Polly and Johnny's mother. That's not what happened. Whatever. I should have said that in the comments. Heather. Anyway, Heather, I'm so sorry. And I'm so sorry about what happened with you and Andrew. Like, that's.
Thank you.
I think this is like in terms of Hell's Kitchen production, I think this season was obviously an L season. Let's be honest,
Yeah.
Massive.
I hated the way that Gordon started 18 as well. Like I was so excited because I was the first person in Hell's Kitchen history to get 2 5 out of 5s on their signature dish. Like literally first person in history. Nobody else has done it yet. So then he's like, how's Andrew? And I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, this is bullshit.
You like the thing is, I feel kind of bad that we're asking this at all. Like,
no. Like you guys are different. Like when I went back out to do that show, they had asked how I felt I was portrayed on season 16. And I told all the bigwigs exactly how I felt. I'm like, you literally, I've lost job opportunities. I've had people go after my bosses saying I was going to fuck their husbands.
Yeah.
Like people are sick. Every time there's a new season, I get a whole new wave of people telling me I should kill myself. My kid's a bastard. I'm a homewrecking whore. I'm a piece of shit. I'm fat and disgusting. I'm this and that. I'm like, listen, if you literally have to waste your day to find me on social media to tell me this shit, you're more fucked up than I am. Like, go somewhere. There's the door. See you later. You're not affecting my life anymore. Like, I'm happy. My son is 14 now. Like,
yeah,
I'm just doing the single mom gig and that's it. Like, it is what it is. My peace and serenity is more important.
Yeah, I was going to say, hearing stories like this make me think that, and I will put myself in the line of fire on this one, but hearing stuff like this from you, Heather, makes you think Thanos from Avengers Endgame might have had a point.
Yes, definitely.
The thing is, with Thanos is like, if you're gonna snap half of humanity or half of the universe out of existence, it shouldn't be just random. It should be,
I can see why he wanted it the way he wanted it, but
I have a personal list
compass that's not being followed with half these people.
No, that's why I call them the keyboard warriors.
Yeah, no, like I could tell the emotion. Comments could see the emotion was strong on that one, Heather, and I appreciate you for I'm sure like in some ways you want to get this off your chest, but in a way it's still I'm sure obviously tough as well. So I appreciate you sharing that. It's like a catch-22, I'm sure. So yeah, all right. So quite a guys, quite a lot of a interesting tea to be shared so far by Heather. So yeah, let's get on into this episode. We'll definitely get back to, I know Catch-22 is my jam. I know, Jam. We'll get back to some more questions but it really was. So we'll get back to more questions later on. We do got to get a little bit in this episode, but yeah, that was some obviously great tea just about some season 16. But yeah, where were we? Oh yeah, we kind of just talked about the Anaya and Alexandria to begin the episode. So that brought us into the challenge. So Gumball, As usual, I have some points. You know, the challenge is always kind of interesting. It's always kind of a time to character build. So I'll make my points here in a second. But Gumball, did anyone stand out for you?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the field here, I mean, obviously you had like the likes of Cara Marie getting quite a bit of focus during the challenge. Obviously Kat got quite a bit of focus, like this battle between Kat and Ellie over who would be picked for their team when they like had an extra member there. Trying to see who else jumped out to me. Obviously, you have Anthony, who ends up winning the challenge for his team. He obviously did pretty well. Bradley struggled quite a bit with the sea bass, with the skin falling off. I'm sure there are others, but those are the ones that jumped out to me right at the bat.
Yeah. So for the challenge, so the notes I had for the challenge, I did like it was a fish dish, again, being that, you know, the theme of the season. This is where challenges can really come to play, because you would think the people from the East and West Coast would do the best here, and even like the South, you could say, where the people in the Midwest could possibly struggle, or, you know, just places where fish aren't as common. So it's always kind of interesting to see how that is. And again, Cara Marie even had her montage, and then it kind of came down to that. You know, that was the big thing. Cara Marie being from Rhode Island, Anthony being from Iowa, and in the end, Anthony was the person that won it for his team. So I thought stuff like that was kind of interesting. Let's see here. What else? Let's see. Oh, Bradley was starting to struggle a bit as well. And Kat actually, we'll get into Kat, of course, by the end of the episode. I thought for a second this could be a breakout episode for Kat, because it was kind of opposite. We can just talk about this too now. Ellie was like, I want my dish up. Mm-hmm. But they chose Kat's instead. But during dinner service, Hollywood had a bounce back, you could say. She did probably a great time in appetizers, whereas we'll get into a Kat. She really struggled. So, Ultra, what's your kind of your thoughts on the whole? I mean, we can obviously talk about Kat a little bit more later on, but that kind of whole dynamic between Ellie and Kat here.
Always going to be tension between teammates when it's my dish or yours. Sometimes the drama's uglier than others. Here, I think it was kind of tame, and at least to the team's credit, the person they did pick actually did get a point. It didn't matter in the end, but you can't say they made the wrong choice. I don't know how good Ellie's dish was, but Kat earned a point, whereas the other person didn't. So, well, okay, I forget. Was it she earned a soul point or both?
It was a soul point. It was a soul point.
Then, yeah, clearly they made at least a good choice for the reward dish.
But
I don't know how Ellie feels about that, obviously, but I mean,
I know, but that's the thing. Usually, yeah, because that's the thing. Usually, I think in most of these, which are we gonna leave behind kind of scenarios, usually that I believe in most scenarios, it's actually handled very civilly and it's handled very fast. And then there's a couple of forced confessionals that come into play that might happen. But in all honesty, I think that with the Ellie situation, I was like, you see Ellie getting a confession, you see it's going to be a bit dragged out, and it goes into a commercial. And I'm sitting there thinking, God damn it! It's either going to be they pick Ellie, and it backfires, and they lose the challenge, or she wins. Excuse me, Ellie wins because they picked her dish, and it's like, yeah, we picked the dish that she was fighting for, that wins. Or they pick Kat's dish, and then afterwards it goes to the end of the challenge, and it's like, you guys, I'm kind of curious. I want to try Ellie's dish. And it's like, when we broke the tie earlier, I chose to break the tie with Bradley's dish, but we would have been able to break the tie with Ellie's dish had you picked that. Something along those lines, you know?
Well, that's why I keep thinking it was interesting, because usually something like that happens, and like again, in the end, like despite Ellie, being like, "This is gonna be my time to shine," and she didn't. It was Kat's time to shine. But when dinner service came, roles were reversed, so you thought it'd been like the other way around. It's just
so I was just grateful that trope, like Tia said in the live comments, I was just grateful that trope just didn't happen again in the challenge. I was dreading it, and I was like, "Oh, nice, okay."
We got a $10 donation from Robert Reed. Heather,
you mean you got a $10 donation?
You're a great. God damn it! Oh, what happened? Oh no! Right when I was reading that, she left. Oh no!
Heather Williams went west.
Oh, there she goes. Okay. Yeah, there she
hit the wrong button. I'm trying to read the comments, and I accidentally exited myself out.
Oh, hey guys, if you notice the screen right now, Heather went west.
Oh, you're going.
That was great. Thank you, Robert.
I had to remove a gem for a second though, because
I'm sorry, that was a pretty bad pun.
That was Well, and he was being a smartass as well. I was trying to read this good comment. He was being a smartass. But anyway, Heather, I've always supported you season 16, 18. You're a great person. Don't let hate negativity get you down. As someone like myself, as a single mom, you always have my support. Yeah, for sure, Heather. Yeah, I think, like you said, and you kind of said yourself, I think, and that's what drives me crazy. You have these freaking morons, let's be honest, who just, don't know any better. I think anyone half a brain, like you said before we got on, could realize that you're innocent in all of this. But
Yeah.
and that's just how it goes, and the show obviously didn't do a good job of helping. Oh, Jem with the bird. I didn't even mean to do that. Yeah, I had to eject him with that. But yeah, no, that's why we're here. Over 100 people are watching right now, so they get to hear your side of the story. So that's.
Is it okay if I bring up something a little bit related to what Heather's talking about?
Sure.
I'll try to keep it brief. So I saw something on Reddit regarding some of the current HK chefs. Some of you might know what I'm talking about, but somebody made some kind of post claiming that anyone else feel like the season 24 chefs who are coming on the Reddit are controlling the narrative of the season by coming on and saying stuff that happened. And I'm like, shut up. Please, what on earth are you trying to get across from this? People are allowed to air what is actually going on in the show, since the edit, as Heather's showing us, is clearly leaving a lot of things out. I've seen Big Brother. They leave a lot of things out because we have the live feeds to compare it with. With Hell's Kitchen, we don't, but we could use this kind of insight. So, yes, I support her talking about all these topics the way she is, as well as the other people. They're not spoiling stuff in the show. They're talking about this happened at this point in the episode we just saw.
For sure. Yeah, so let's go to after red team, or excuse me, the blue team, despite which, Ultra, you need to do a stat on this. How many times the team that got the head start actually won the challenge? It has to be like 20% or some shit like that, right?
I'll take a look into that because I don't know off the top of my head. I do know this much. Usually if the blue team gets the advantage, the time advantage in a challenge, especially like an early one where it's like a physical component, they don't win. Like I've seen it happen almost never actually happen that way. I've seen it happen one time for the season 17 red team where they got a time advantage from a physical challenge. It was cup stacking. It's not really the same thing, but they won it. It is what it is.
Anyway, in any case, like the male thing, it's like, I don't know. They had to. I feel like it's just part of it is just then they had to establish a trope of some sorts. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they're absolutely doing that.
But regardless, they got the time advantage, or red team got the time advantage, but they still lost, and the blue team would win. But Anaya, only 2 challenges in, would use her punishment pass.
Yeah,
and she would use it on Antonio after Antonio beat her, and she was smug as hell about that the entire episode.
She was salty as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll get your opinion of that, Heather, in a second. But Gumball, again, remind me, Anaya's been pretty high for you in chat. This goes for you as well. I'm interested to hear what you think about Anaya in this conversation, because again, from last week, you thought that, before I get ahead of myself, where was Anaya in your power rankings?
So she actually had dropped from episode 2 to 3. She was number 3 after episode 2, but after episode 3, I dropped her to number 6. I felt like episode 3 was like kind of like was showing like this, like, I guess, bossy and mean side to her that I feel like isn't really something that Ramsay would look for in like a head chef. And I feel like this episode is just more of the same, to be honest. Like, I mean, it's like fun to see like Anaya being like petty and stuff like this, but it's like I feel like it was also like some negative content with like you have like the guys on the blue team talking about how like, oh, this is petty, and how, oh, I wish Antonio were here on reward with us. So like I don't think this was a great look for Anaya, if I'm being honest. And I feel like it's just a continuation of what I saw from her last week.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm interested to see where she goes in her power rankings, how people view her. Because again, if Alexander's supposed to be this big villain of the season, but Anaya is like her main rivalry, it's just like, well, why is Anaya being like acting like a dick? You could say,
Well, that's what I was trying to tell you guys last week. I fucking told all of you. I was like, I think Anaya is the one that's gonna be getting the villain.
And that's what I'm saying. We could talk about that more at the end, but I wonder if this is gonna like set up like an Alexandria like comeback arc, and Anaya like she gets her revenge over Anaya, or like they're just both like two. It's like the season 10 red team. It just talks all over the place. I'm very interested to see where this goes because Anaya did not have a good episode here whatsoever.
Yeah, well, I'm
Now-
gonna give my input about Alex. Like it's I'm gonna quickly fast forward to service a bit, but we have Alex, for example, where she seems to be dans la lune during service. And you know, and I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? We have Anaya earlier having her villain moment, and I'm just sitting there thinking, you know what? Maybe Alex is actually gonna get the boot right now. Unfortunately. Maybe I mean, well, kind of good for my predictions though. But unfortunately for the edit, because I was liking watching Alex. But the thing is, Alex would get the boot because it seemed kind of predictable at that point, and then Anaya would get the villain edit. But you know, we'll talk about that later.
For sure. Yeah, so yeah, Heather, I know you haven't really watched much this season, but what do you think about this season so far? And if you have any thoughts about the new era, again, I don't think you've kept up, but that much.
I
But, like,
mean,
overall-
so if I had that punishment pass, if you watch any Hell's Kitchen, especially within like the last 10 years, right? Or like even the last 6 years, there's always better rewards later in the season.
Yeah.
Why would you waste your punishment pass now for a
You
castle?
thinking back to Brett, aren't you?
yeah,
I was-
yeah, as you
I
know.
was thinking the opposite.
Oh, Brett was an idiot on 18
I
for that. I'm
agree.
like, really?
Yeah,
I'm like,
Heather,
you're
I
a
was-
tool.
I'm gonna agree with you, Heather, but for a different reason. I was thinking more. You know, the problem is, Anaya, if you use the punishment pass now, the issue is that you're a team that has, I believe, 9 women on it.
Yeah.
So you're with 9 women and you're doing a punishment that's divided into 9. But if you wait a bit, you're going to be in a punishment that's divided by 5, and that's more work. You know what I mean?
Right.
what I-
You
that's
mean
what
you
I-
meant
that's the
8?
angle
Oh,
I was
yeah.
thinking.
Especially if you
Right.
looked at it from the punishment angle, those get worse as you go into the season. And I'm
Yeah, I
not
don't
gonna
wanna-
lie, like when I saw them on a dock, I started like to heave because I kept thinking about our fish gut milkshakes that we had to drink. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, please don't do anything with fish guts. Please, for the love of God, I can't handle this right now.
I don't. Yeah, the one punishment I would never want to do is, you know, where they put us in the white suits there and they make us sort through trash and shit in the recycling area.
That was awful on 16. I felt so bad because it was right, I think, when Ryan went over to the blue team
Yeah.
is when they had to go do it. And they smelled so bad when they came back. I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
For my own stomach's sake,
Yeah,
I definitely
but
don't.
honestly,
Yeah.
the other thing I didn't like about Anaya's choices is it's like you could have, for the sake of honor, picked a blue team member that did not get a point. That's what
Right.
I would have done, you know?
Mhm.
I mean, you're literally being catty, right? And you're putting a bigger target on your back just because, you know, who was the one that, oh, I'm trying to think who won.
Antonio won the point.
Oh yeah, Antonio. So it's like,
Yeah.
why would you literally like throw shots at somebody just because they beat you? Like
Yeah.
in this industry, you have to be humble. You're not perfect. You're not going to be perfect. Somebody's going to be better than you. Learn from the experience. And like you said, take somebody out that didn't benefit the team.
That's the thing. It just seems that's like common sense thing to do. And she was snarky about it as well the entire
Yeah.
time. It's, again,
Or for, you know, argument's sake, go for the heavy hitter on the blue team. Go
Right,
for the biggest threat that you'll have if they go up against you in a competition.
right. Yeah.
I'm thinking back to when Cyan in season 19 used her punishment pass against Cody, the person who at the time we all thought was going to be the big villain of his season. And I'm gonna guess that in show they were thinking that too. That's why
Okay.
they used it because they were like, well, yeah, like we want to take him down a peg. And then actually during that punishment, they're like, oh, never mind, you're actually really nice.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about Cody. To be honest, like Cody, like I felt the same way watching that guy the first few episodes. I mean, I predicted very early on. I was like, once I did my placement predictions for that season, I was like, you know what? I think Cody's gonna get 5th place because he seems to be starting off arrogant, but after 3 episodes, it's like he found his groove, he toned it down, and he's realizing he's in a
You get
not
humbled.
a high position. Yeah, he's been humbled. I feel like he got humbled after 1 or 2 episodes. That was or for the first 3 episodes, that was my take on it. I mean, I was a little bit off, but at the same time, I was in the correct boat. But yeah, I think Cody, to be honest, like no offense to Cody, but like when you're this young, handsome man with like Italian gel in your hair, and you know, like I think there's something about that really turns the ladies on, but at the same time gives them the impression that you might be a bit arrogant if you're competing.
You got
against
the
them. I don't
fuck
know.
boy hair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
But yeah, so definitely an interesting episode, and we still got more to talk about here and some going forward. But yeah, that would bring us into service. So yeah, a recap of the service. We'll talk about the blue team first. So really not too much of note for the blue team. Yeah. Well, first of all, big congratulations to both teams once finishing service for the first time. So they did get that out of the way.
That's always a bonus.
Yeah. So congratulations to all of them to know the feeling. But yeah, so advertising has been great so far this year. Jaden Henry got off to a good start. Really, the only mistakes was Chris would overcook a salmon, which we'll get to that in a second. He had like a good bounce back from that too. And the other big thing was it was kind of interesting. So Anthony was out in the dining room and then came in to put a Wellington. Bradley thought he was going to put Wellington in. Yeah, but it didn't. That was the whole mix up there.
That made no sense. Like, why would you have the person come in from table side to put a Wellington in the oven?
Right. That's kind of how I was thinking.
And not communicate. That is the longest cooking dish in Hell's Kitchen. And those are things you have to get in the oven right away. So why would you not communicate and just like double down and make sure that was in the oven?
Yeah. So
and you always stay one up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But Ramsay like pounds it into your brain. Stay one up.
Yeah. So I'll ask you this, Ultra. Do you think another rivalry is brewing on the blue team here? Because we saw Anthony had some stuff to say about Bradley last week when he got, had to go out. Bradley was kind of nice about it when we had chatted him last week, but I don't know. This could be, I feel like we're setting up a rivalry here. So what's your thoughts on that, Ultra?
Potentially. For record, much respect to Bradley. I'm happy we got a chance to talk to him last week. He seems pretty good. It might, again, just be like an edit-based thing, or maybe even just the circumstances of how stressful the kitchen is. I mean, Heather, you can attest, it is at least that stressful.
Yes.
But, yeah, I won't act like Bradley's not putting a lot of this on himself in the episodes itself. Now, that's not to say that Anthony comes off completely clean, like not as much as Anaya, but there's a tiny bit of snark to him. Heck, even Bradley admitted he's sassy, which, yeah, I see that. Kind of weird.
I forgot what that.
Huh?
Finish.
I said it's kind of weird. I have like two kind of villainous people left in my draft, and then Chris, who bounces out by being pretty likable.
Also, where the fuck is Chris in the edit?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So let me get
he's the gumball of this season. You know what I mean? Like,
well, speaking of that, I disagree because Gumball, I feel like Chris, because again, he had his mistake, but right after your mistake, he got quite a lot of content, going back about his upbringing and all that stuff, and that followed up with a good dish. They didn't just say, hey, you messed up and forget about him. So do you feel like this was like, obviously, in a perfect world, he gets good content, great services, but do you still feel like overall it's a positive episode for Chris, despite being one of the few screw-ups on the blue team?
Yeah, I mean, I do think he recovered well enough. Like, I felt like it definitely felt like a bit more. It definitely felt different from like other situations where like you see a chef make a mistake in service and then they end up like fixing it. Where like we do get that personal content from Chris. Like, and in general, we've gotten a lot from Chris about how he's from New Jersey. Like, that seems to be like a big part of like his content on the show, which obviously makes him stand out as well. So like, I kind of disagree in the sense that I do feel like we have gotten a good amount of Chris up to this point.
Yeah,
I gotta say,
who's Chris?
It's Chris? Henry, I'd say we need more of.
Yeah, someone like him I feel is more forgettable. I feel like, again, at 4 episodes in, I don't think anyone's too memorable. Well, I actually take that back. They're actually, given the nature of the season so far, there are a lot of...
I'm more concerned of? But you know what I'm more concerned about? My winner pick, Lisa. I was like, where the fuck are you? And I'm like...
Good example, right?
He's there, not...
She's there, yeah.
The most prominently,
she's present. She's present on the show.
Yeah.
Didn't she get like 2 confessionals this episode? Like, not even?
I mean, she did. She did. But again, like, I feel like she
fight with her with Alexandra and Anaya.
Yeah, like I still feel like I think the thing about Lisa is like I still feel like she had a very strong start to the season. She had a very strong premiere and like episode 2. So like I feel like that alone is like fine enough to where even though she's not getting as much content right now, like it could be a way of just like, okay, she got all this great content early on. Like this is just reminding you to remember her for later. So like I'm not necessarily down on her just because she's not like getting as big of an edit so far, or at least in these episodes.
I will have to say, someone in the comments brought something interesting. This is the third 20 contestant cast. And I have to admit, unlike the other two casts, like the problem with the other two casts is that in both of those casts, I felt like there were like 4 or 5 characters that were kind of like joke characters that were probably going to last max 7 episodes. And then like this is where it gets a bit different because I feel like everybody here is serious.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just, I think, also. I mean, that's the thing. I disagree with that. I mean, because again, we've seen a lot of drama so far. So, I mean, I can't really call it.
Whoever makes good TV.
Yeah. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
But like what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say is in seasons 11 and 12, it's like, oh, Gaurav, finger in the risotto, bye.
Let's be clear. Good TV, and
Yeah.
for the sake of season 16, that was exciting TV, I guess. But good TV is not really the right word.
No. No.
But
I
like-
mean, it sucks to be on one of the most hated seasons. It really
right.
sucks, but I understand why.
Like,
Yeah, then you have,
it's totally your fault.
Then
Yeah.
you have what's it called? Sebastian and Gina.
Well, we don't need to go through it, but I mean, it's just, it is what it is. But yeah, so let's get on into so that was pretty much it for the blue team. Let's go into the red team service here, the team that would lose. So again, like I said, it's very interesting, despite Ellie kind of getting one upped in a way at the challenge, she had a great, not necessarily a standout service, but definitely got the team off to a great start in the appetizers here. And we had our first table side mistake in a long time. Cara Marie would slow down the table sides. It was interesting content from Alexandra. In this case, she was being quiet after being loudmouth, but so the team was on her about that. But I we could talk about this more. But I actually think she kind of said it herself. She was trying to listen to her team at this point, but they're not having it. And the biggest problem, because the server was looking really good. I thought the red team might win at first, and I thought Bradley was giving me some serious trouble, which he might still be in, as we'll get into. But the really, really big problem here, Cats, who I thought at this point was having a huge bounce back episode, just out of nowhere, completely tanked on the Garnet station like 3 times in a row. And as we'll get into, that pretty much did her in. And that's pretty much what did the red team in. So, yeah. Heather, as someone who, you were on the blue team in season 18, but as someone, who in most cases would be on the red team, what are your thoughts on the red team this season? And like, how do you think you would have done in this with this team?
I'm not gonna lie, I had PTSD when Alexandria kept like shutting down because I felt like I was working with T again.
Yeah.
And I'm like screaming in her face, like, hello, talk to me. And I understand, like in her confession, she was like, well, I'm just trying to listen to my team and things like that. He wants a leader, not a follower. So if you can't stand on your own and take ownership of the station that you're at, you literally were the food running bitch. Like you were just running food to the pass. And that's like, not to take the thunder of what we're talking about, but like on 18, T is a very strong personality. So am I.
Yeah.
And both dominance, I'm like, okay, you want to take control of the station? That's fine. Take control. But then you folded and then try to blame everything on me. You're the one that told me to take the food up. Just like her partner told Alexandria to keep taking the food up. But she just shut down completely. And I'm like, you have to communicate. You have to know where you're at.
Mhm.
And that was one thing that stood out to me. And then Cat on Garnish, man, I was thinking about Jen. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this woman gives raw carrot one more time. I'm going to freak out.
Yeah, I was with Ellie. I was
I have
like,
to say,
you can
like-
just poke it with a fork to see if it's cooked.
But
It's not rocket science. You have all these kitchen tools next to you. Even take a goddamn paring knife and just poke it.
Like, I have to ask you though, like you mentioned, I agree with you that leadership is more important than, let's say, being the running bitch, as you call it. But
Sorry.
but no, it's funny. I've always had this perception that in the game of Hell's Kitchen, emerging as a leader is more important, let's say, in the top 10. Would you agree with that, or do you think it comes really bang out of the gate?
So, like, I'll admit that, Ramsey hones in a little bit more as it dwindles down, but he's watching from day one. Like, one thing I can say is I've never seen a man or worked with a chef that knows all of your strengths and weaknesses and your style better than you do. Like, it's insane because, like, some things that, like, you guys don't see that don't make the cut, right? When he's talking to us and kind of like the pass by conversations and getting to know us and things like that. And then for your sake, as you go down and there's less and less people, you get more time with Gordon one-on-one. So like, I really didn't know what my style of cooking was. And he's like, oh, you're like a rustic style chef. Like you like homey foods and things like that. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. Like, okay, it didn't dawn on me, but yeah, it's like, that's me to a T. And he knows, it's like, he knows when to put you on the hardest stations that you are very weak at, because he's trying to see what you're going to do in the moment.
Yeah, I always kind of noticed that, you know, chefs that are in trouble are usually put on the hardest stations to kind of see what they can step up. Yeah, so.
And that's why he pushed Kat so hard on Garnish, because he's like, after the third time, I'm like, he's going to throw the pan and he's going to tell you to get the fuck out. Like, I'm surprised they made it through. I was waiting for him to say get out.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was almost kind of thinking that. It was, you know.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
I know we had moved past this, but I gotta bring this up. But when there was that scene on the blue team where the conflict between Bradley and Anthony had settled down, Anthony says something to be like very telltale-ish, where like that telltale meme there. He says like, "I'll remember that," and I was like, Anthony, I was like, "There's the meme. Anthony will remember that," you know. And Bradley was like, "What the fuck?"
He'll be a gift somewhere.
That was TV, in my opinion.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty much it on the red team, and like I said, they would lose, and it would be one of those rare 3 nominees nights. But to be fair, it's kind of becoming more normal these days in New Schoolhouse Kitchen, which I've kind of found interesting. But yeah, to me, it was pretty obvious, like the 3 nominees who they were going to be. But yeah, I think the most important thing here is we got some more cat fighting on the red team, and Ultra.
No pun intended.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, Kat wasn't really that much into it. She actually nominated herself along with Cara Marie, but I think most importantly, Ultra, looks like Alexandra might have another beef, and as she and Cara Marie really got into it. So, what do you think's gonna chat? This goes for you as well. What do you think is more likely to happen? Alexandra versus Cara Marie as like the main rivalry, or Alexandra versus Anaya going forward?
I still think it's gonna be Alex versus Anaya because Cara Marie seems like a wonderful person. I've seen her on Reddit a few times, and she seems nice. I do think the track record shows she's just not got as long for the competition. Anaya, whatever you think of how her behavior was in the episode, she's backed it up mostly with challenges. Like even this one where she didn't get a point, she didn't get panned for it either. So, you know, there's a way there's a way for her to still be seen as like a strong link. With Cara, I don't know. I think there's been too many indicators that she's like a weak link amongst this group. So, I'm just speaking objectively based on what I'm seeing from the edit. So I think that there's only so much more out of this conflict we can get. Whereas with Anaya, as long as Alexandra sticks around, most likely that's gonna happen down the road again.
I have to give my input on the nominee system for tonight. See, I was thinking that I'm going to be honest. I felt that this was a night where if we were looking at it just based on the teams, I felt the blue team should have lost, not the red team.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
That's my perspective. The issue is that the red team, here's my perspective. Based on team, the blue team should have lost tonight. However, individually, Kat was the obvious boot on both sides. That's my personal take. The thing is, Gordon Ramsay is in a position where it's like, I mean, he could have made both teams pick a nominee, but I think he wanted to have a winning team to celebrate. But he says the blue team will win, and because I felt like he had to kind of give an excuse, which was valid, but it seemed very it's like he was grasping for straws when he said like, oh, it was like there were a few basic mistakes or whatever, which were valid, but still. And I noticed it was really Kat who was the only one who was actively making mistakes. And I know we had Alexandra who, you know, she didn't communicate.
And Cara Marie as well. I think it just kind of adds up. Where
I felt like with Cara Marie, they even said, "Oh, it was just mostly for challenges." I was like, I feel like him saying, "I want you to pick 3 nominees," was because if we're gonna go based off of one nominee, we know who it's gonna be. If we go based off two nominees, we know the girls don't like Alexandra, so that's 2 nominees. And so Gordon Ramsay just wanted a little bit of space. So let's see if we could get a 3rd nominee up. But the thing is, I guess he didn't think, or the producers didn't think that Cara Marie would be the obvious 3rd pick, you know?
But yeah, you kind of said yourself, those were the nominees. You know, after a lot of cat fighting, it was Cara, Alexandra, and Kat. And I think it was pretty obvious. I don't even really think. I mean, I think it was pretty obvious that one chef was done for. But the two rivals will live to find their day. Cara Marie and Alexandra set back in line. And we say goodbye to the latest casualty of Hell's Kitchen season 24, Battle of the States. I believe Maryland's own Kat. Yeah, let's just go around. Chad, give your thoughts on Kat's here. I'll start first. Like I said, a pretty forgettable chef this season, but just kind of an interesting episode here. Very similar a la, I mean, not that similar to a la Elena last week, but again, she had such a great start. You know, the team picked her and she proved them right at the challenge. And during service, she's on a garnish station, which usually is a pretty easy station. But boom, the carrots just completely did her in. So
I don't think. I disagree with you. I don't think she was forgettable. I think Elena was a little bit more forgettable than she was.
I disagree with that.
Well, because here's my take on Kat. My take on Kat is because
she created Carragate. Yeah, so that's something.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But what I'm trying to say is, I feel like with Kat, she was like Magali. It was like every week there was something, and Magali had more personality in my opinion. But like still, like it was like every week there was something. So I felt like with Kat, that's what was making her noticeable. Like she got nominated the first week, second week it was fine, but like she still had some errors, and then the third week nominated by third striker out. You know?
Yeah, second time in a week, because I kind of felt the same way about Paul last week. As you remember, someone who started out tough might make a bit of underdog run, but yeah, that just didn't happen. Ultra, what's your thoughts on Kat this season?
Initially, I thought she'd be a strong link because when we were doing our drafts and I was looking at the people who were left for 2 extra picks for me, I was like, I've kind of got narrowed down to like Kat or Ellie of who I want. And I've ended up picking Kat specifically because Ellie had the first judged signature dish. And I just always was like, no, I'm noticing a curse that if you have your dish judged first, you ain't winning. And that probably still could happen. I get stronger winner vibes from a bunch of other people this season. And Ellie didn't have any confessionals until episode 3. So not the best sign, but on the level of just episode by episode, we're getting a little more of her. That's good. So I stand by picking Kat because I thought there might be a chance where she would have a little more confidence about herself. But yeah, the episodes that we saw her in during service, she just kind of didn't prove herself. Mm-hmm. And I can't say there was a ton to her personality either that we were given in the episodes to where I have much to remember her off of. I remember events, but if you ask me to quote her, I don't have anything.
And yeah, Gumball, final thoughts on Kat here.
Yeah, I mean, to me at least, she was just kind of there. I mean, never really that high in my power rankings. I feel like she was someone who didn't really get much to do in the end, if I'm being honest, until her boot episode, where she obviously just made so many mistakes on the garnish station to where I felt it was pretty obvious she was going out by the end of it, even with the Alexandra and Carmen at all. But yeah, I mean, for me, she was fine. Nothing wrong with her, but didn't really get much to do in the show, I feel like.
And Heather, you can give your thoughts on Kat, but more importantly, like, how did you guys feel, especially in your first season, those first couple eliminations? Were those like the hardest ones, or were they harder as they went along? Because I feel like you could possibly.
I would say they got harder as you went along because you got to know people more. Yeah. But like the first couple, it was nice being on the chairs on the side because you could breathe, right? Except for when he eliminated Gia, which was great. Absolutely great mic drop. I loved it. But it gave you that breath of fresh air when you're in the chairs. But when you're standing there, it is so damn nerve-wracking because even though you have people down for elimination, it's Gordon's game.
Yeah,
he can pick anybody he wants.
Yeah. And yeah, a lot of chefs, unfortunately, so it sounds like you knew that. A lot of chefs still don't think realize that to this day, which is kind of funny.
I mean, just because you're standing up there and you think you're hot shit because you put, people up for elimination, if you were shit in that service and you just got the popularity vote, he's going to call you out on it.
Well, and that's a good segue to the final thing to talk about this episode because Chef was not done and he called Bradley up. And it's not for a team swap unless like something weird happens because he sent both teams back in line. So
it's like, that's what I was thinking. He says, I'm not done. And it's like, yes, team switch for the first time in a few years, like a real team switch where it's, mixed up. And I was like, damn it. They all go back up. Well, so I know exactly what's going to happen. Anyway, go on.
Well, I'm good if you let me finish. What do you think is going to happen, Jem? Do you think he's done for, or it's going to be one of those wake up, Bradley, this is your last chance?
Yeah, it's gonna be another one of those wake up, Bradley. This is your last chance, or at least Bradley, you could cook me, right? I know you're doing. You can. It's gonna be one of those last chance or a boost. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be give me a jacket because he would have done that in front. Number one, he would have done that in front of everybody else. Because I don't think I've ever seen that on Hell's Kitchen where it's like, oh yeah, this person I eliminated them in the proper way, but not in front of everybody else. You know what I mean?
He's trying to light the fire back under his ass. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's, and that's the problem I have with this with Hell's Kitchen. It's like if you're gonna do that, here's the thing. I understand there are casuals that are new to this series, so it's like if you're gonna do a little bit of drama, it's like Bradley, come here, and then the music plays it, the bump, 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 and it's like, do that. Fair enough. I'll give you that. But at least have the courtesy to do it in the same episode and not do it to be continued because
Right.
people like me, we know the show. We know it's nothing serious. He's not going to go home. So why the fuck are you dragging it for another week when maybe the casuals, okay, might be. I'm just saying do a compromise here. Like you're giving a bit of drama already to the casuals. And then with us, it's like this bullshit is going to last max a minute and it's not going to be dragged to next week, you know?
Well, we'll see what happens. And a Gumball finish episode with you. I know you kind of brought up in your power rankings a good comparison with Egypt. Do you think and I think we can all kind of agree Bradley probably will survive. Do you think this will be like the boost that, and we can talk about more next week, but do you think this will be the boost that he needs to possibly Bradley be a big character going forward? Or do you still think as of now that Bradley, because he seems like a big boot coming forward. So what's kind of your thoughts as we end this episode?
Yeah, I mean, I do think if there's anyone like if we are going to make comparisons, I do think comparing Bradley to Egypt like makes sense. Like I do feel like despite Bradley's struggles, he definitely like has gotten a lot of positive content. I feel like he's someone who has at least been like a focus on the show. And again, I do think there's at least that upside at least. And I think I would agree with Jem in saying that this like cliffhanger is just going to be a fake out. Like it's just going to be Ramsay telling him to get a grip and that he needs to step it up. And I do think it'll probably be a turning point for Bradley, if I had to guess. I mean, because I feel like if Bradley just flames out and like goes out, like I feel like it would be kind of a weird for him to get the edit that he has gotten for him to just be an early boot. So like I do think there's definitely that Egypt upside, but obviously we'll have to see like how next week goes.
Yeah, I just made a comment. I feel like, again, he hasn't obviously spoiled anything, but I feel like he's just been a little bit too active. Which is good. I mean, but he's into the season. I feel like I'm really excited to see if he can make a comeback. And if he's an early boot after this, despite all the hype he's had for the season, hey, power to him. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, that would do it for the episode. So I guess we'll kind of finish it off here before we get into Jem's game. We'll finish it off with some final questions for Heather for like 10 minutes or so, and then we'll let her go. But yeah, I saw this comment earlier, I believe, and I know a couple people were asking about your son. So I believe that's who Logan is, Heather?
Yes.
Yeah. So yes, a couple people want to know how he's doing. So yeah, what's he been up to these days?
He's doing really well. He just turned 14 in August, and he is in the marching band for our high school. There's over 300 members of the band. He plays the tenor saxophone. So he's doing really well. I'm proud of him. I can't believe he's a freshman in high school already.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's
he was
awesome.
3. He just turned 3 when we did Hell's Kitchen season 16.
That's crazy.
Like insane. I watch that episode and I bawl every time.
Yeah, he's on the right path if he's doing marching band.
Yeah.
All right, so we've obviously talked about Andrew a lot, Trev, Scotty. So, and the chat wants this. They want the Matt lore. You kind of touched on a little bit, but yeah, if you can talk about this, probably the most of all people. He's probably still the most hated contestant from the season. So go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, after the show, like he definitely fell off. Like nobody really talks to him. He is still the same pompous prick that he was on the show. There's no growth there. At least what I can see on social media. I know he had a lot of bad shit to say about Hell's Kitchen and the production and all like the whole thing of like behind the scenes. And I know it almost went to a legal thing because he was making a lot of allegations that weren't true. But I mean, listen, he was a sore loser. I don't know if he can cook or not, to be honest. I really don't know. But I know that one episode I had enough with him. I was tired of him bringing us down on seafood. And he's like, I got it. And I'm like, dude, you don't have it. You're giving raw lobster. You don't know what you're doing. I can't take it anymore. And God.
I was gonna say, speaking of false allegations, here's something I'm curious about that I heard through the grapevine.
Vortex, I heard that too.
That's not even what I'm referring to. Although, yeah, fuck that. No, here's what I'm curious about. So I remember him mentioning in passing during episode 1 something about having military experience, and then I heard Devin say something about how that was bullshit.
Yeah, Devin is definitely ex-military. And I really think Matt was grasping at straws. I mean, I'm sorry, you can't do everything in life, right? You want to be a chef, you were in the military, you can do this, you can do that, you're perfect, you have a Tesla, you have one of the first Teslas that came out. Like, at some point, you have to grow up, right?
Yeah,
you have to stop trying to be a one-upper.
I actually had a boss like that at one point.
Yeah. I had an ex-boyfriend like that. And I think that's what it was. Like,
yeah, I got laid off after 2 days, but I was glad to be laid off because my mental health was like out the door with this guy.
After 2 days, man.
Once he came to the Red Kitchen, I was like, I want to kill this guy. Like, I couldn't stand being in a kitchen with him.
How was he not eliminated in the first fucking episode?
Because he made good TV. It was good drama.
Yeah, we all know that. Yeah.
And when he kept going after Kim, when we were sitting outside, that's when I finally told both of them, I was like, shut the fuck up. I can't take it anymore with both of you.
Yeah, like we've dogpiled on Andrew this entire podcast as he deserves to be, but even he was fed up with that.
Yes. Yeah,
like,
because Matt was just one of those people like you got tired of hearing. And then he thought if he got louder, you would shut up. I feel like he's one of those misogynistic pricks too, where it's like a strong female is not okay in his eyes. So I'm like, you met the right bitch to go toe to toe with, buddy, and I'm not going to back down. I don't like you.
I mean, I'm just looking at this from a viewer's perspective. I didn't get that vibe from him. I got more of a borderline antisocial personality disorder vibe from him. I was like, that was my perspective. I was like, I don't think it had to do with gender or anything. I think it was just he just had a big anger problem, and it was okay. I like I said, antisocial was maybe a big word. I just think that it was just big anger problems, and it was too much to handle for anybody.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and honestly, this is why I said I felt like Andrew, like minus the cheating, like I felt like he was actually, until I learned more information about him, I felt like he was more likable than other people made him out to be, because I felt like at least when he was on the red team, he was,
he was like, different.
Yeah, he was again, he was like with you girls and not with Matt, and it was like he was reserved. I mean, like he was handling the fight between Kim and Matt in a decent way, in my opinion.
I mean, listen, he's done really big things in Philly. I know he made like 30 under 30 and shit like that. Like he's good at what he does. He's just a really shitty fucking human being with women and dating.
That's how it goes sometimes, eh? All right, and we'll finish it off with the two main ones we still yet to talk about from your season. So yeah, somehow, some way, had all the stuff we haven't even talked about Johnny yet. So if you want to give anything about him, you can. And of course, we gotta talk about the Gia incident, the finger cut. So yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, fine. Talk about Aaron and what's her name, Aziza, as well, because they're kind of forgotten.
Talk about everyone at that point. It's okay. Yeah, go. Yeah, just kind of finish it off what you want to, Heather. Here to finish.
So Gia. Oh, Gia. I loathe Gia. Never spoke a word to her after the show at all. That episode, I literally remember standing there and she was squeezing the life out of her finger, trying to get some kind of blood to come out. And it just wasn't happening. It wasn't there. And she's like, I cut my finger off. Chef, it's off. And I'm like,
I'm
like, where the fuck is your finger?
If I was her and I was trying to be serious about that, why not just take a freaking knife and just, like,
at that point,
something right there.
And the best is he's like, well, wait a minute, I'll get you a medic. And she's like, I don't need a medic. And I'm like, yes, you do. If you have a finger off somewhere, there's blood. I'm like, there's blood in all the food. I'm like, what are you doing? That is another thing that will go down in history.
Oh, it is.
Like,
Yeah. And that will.
dear
and that-
God. Johnny is, or what? I don't know. I can't say is anymore because I haven't really spoke to him since Paulie died. And he really did Ryan dirty. But he's a piece of shit. He was a piece of shit on the show. I got along with him just because I'm a very bold and strong female personality. So they didn't really gun for me the way they did like a little more like less dominant female, like Jess. I remember, what was it? Aziza like throat chopped Paulie. That was fucking awesome.
Oh,
We were like, listen, we had to come up with our own entertainment, right? Like in between filming, we didn't have TV or anything like that. So we had to be our own entertainment. And I remember like they were messing around with her and Z's like, I'm gonna like karate chop you in the throat. And he's like, oh, you're not gonna do anything. And it was like joking and all fun, but she did it. And I remember him like gasping for air. And I was just like, what just happened? I don't know if that was the same night that he wore Ryan's underwear and a cowboy hat. That was really good.
I think
Yeah.
I missed that one.
Oh my God. I wish they showed it. Paulie put a pair of Ryan's underwear on and ran around the house with a cowboy hat on.
Was he drunk?
No. Nope.
Oh my god.
I mean, like they limit you on how many drinks you can have, right? Like you can have 2.
Let me tell you
Yes,
something.
we need cutscenes so bad.
Hell's
This-
Kitchen,
let
like
me tell you something, I've
so
done-
I said, like when you mentioned that, I'm like, no, I would have remembered that.
Yeah.
in all fairness, I would have done. Maybe not that, but I would have done I've done drunk shit, not drunk because I don't drink at all. So like I've done,
Oh, I think
Right,
we're
you're
hell of
like
it.
the life of the party sometimes.
yeah,
On-
that's
on
how I
podcast.
see it, you know.
Dude,
But,
but like Hell's Kitchen is all about its clips and all of that. Like they would make a fortune off their channel if they show these uncut clips.
Oh my God.
Well, that's
Tyler
because that's
does
what they're
that.
doing now. Because back then that wasn't their marketing strategy. So.
Because you figure, right? We're on camera and mic 24/7, 6 days a week for 5 weeks.
Exactly.
That's a lot of footage to cut out.
Yeah.
A
might as
lot of footage. And I'm like, because there would be times that I'd be like watching the episodes and I'm like, oh, this is going to happen. And then it doesn't. I'm like, why'd they cut that out?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's just, you might as well. That's the thing. If they're known for their clips, as Hell's Kitchen is, like they could, again, like I just said, they can make a fortune with these, long lost clips. Oh my God. Like imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. So,
Yeah, I feel like the clips were. I think to clarify, I think the clips themselves were more like, yeah, they were more known on YouTube. But I meant like the official Hell's Kitchen channel came out in 2020. I think they based their marketing off of that since then. But it's a little too little. It's too little, too late when it came to season 15, you know.
see, I know. Well, that's a disagree. I mean, I think Chad would agree with me if they saw on their channel, because I'm sure most of them are subscribed to the channel, or like it probably get recommended to them. Jen came. Watch Jen try to come back after she.
Yeah, you got to open the vault for some weird shit. Like that would be awesome.
Aziza, watch Aziza just throat chop that. Like, dude,
Yeah.
people would watch eat that shit up. Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
I
On
love
one hand,
Aziza.
I almost don't know about that one specifically because Polly's gone, and I don't want some asshole to say, "Oh, she did it."
Oh my God.
No, that'd be
Like I can just
No.
picture it.
no.
If
Just
you get what they
honestly,
did
Ultra.
with you, Heather,
no one-
Somebody would.
Somebody would.
So-
but I
Somebody would.
I think Aziza's like, she gives me the vibe that she's really moved on from this Hell's Kitchen shit. Like,
She has. I mean, Z does her own thing. She does a lot of private chef stuff. She's been with football players, shit like that. Like, she's doing really good for herself in Philly still. And I love watching her be successful because Aziza is such a well-rounded person and she's like spiritual, right? Like, she believes in like tarot cards and your whole like astrology, things like that. And she's a very zen person. It takes a lot to piss her off.
yeah,
I believe
honestly, at this point, like, might as well rename season 16. We're gonna give subtitles to every season. Season 16 subtitle should be Philadelphia All Stars or something. You know, like,
Oh my God. I hated that they put that I was from Philly. I'm like, I'm not from Philly. I'm from Easton. I was like, they make the Crayola crayon here.
I guess Phil. No, that's Pennsylvania. I was about to say, is it Philadelphia? That says like, wait, no, stupid. That's Philadelphia is the city, Pennsylvania is the state.
Well, for us,
Yeah.
for us in Quebec and Canada, it's the same shit.
I know. I'm 2 hours from Philly.
All right, yeah. Well, okay, fine. Pennsylvania All Stars. All right. All right,
We're
there we
definitely
go.
the tri-state assholes. That's what we are. It's always New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey.
Okay, fine. Yeah, season
yeah.
16.
But yeah, Heather, before I let you go, so any final things you want to tell the chat about, whether it's season 16, 18, or just anything in general before I let you go?
So one thing I could say about 18, I know I had a lot of hatred for Mia, and I don't know what it was. Like, I was in a very bad mental space there. I had literally just finished my finale party in Pennsylvania. I went home, finished packing, caught a flight at like 4 a.m. to California the next day, and started filming season 18. So I didn't get a chance to like see what was being said about me after losing to Ryan. And I was just so worried about what was being said that I couldn't get out of my own way. And I know Ramsey even said, he was like, "This isn't you." And I said, "No, it's not." I said, "I have a lot of things going on. My uncle had just died. I was worried about my dad because that was his only brother. And unfortunately, at the time, my ex-boyfriend had just gone to rehab and was fighting a really bad fentanyl addiction. Like, it was just a really bad mental space for me. And I wish I could have been in a better frame of mind for 18. And that's why, like, I promised myself when Mia got stuck with me, because let's be honest, she didn't want me on her team. I know that for a fact. I was going to do whatever I could to get that young lady to win. And I worked my ass off. I ran 3 stations for her. I was doing desserts, I was doing meats, I was doing hot apps. And I remember she told me, "Hey, Gordon asked who was my MVP of the dinner service." And I told him it was you. And he said, "Yeah, I'm not surprised." And I was like, that means a lot. That really means a lot that he kind of saw me back in my old light.
It ended on a nice note. You're saying.
It did.
Yeah, and even if she didn't win, again, you did your best. I have a theory that he kind of already had Ariel pegged as the winner because everyone mentioned
she shouldn't have lost. Mia should not have lost that at all. And I'll say that facts. Mia should have had that win.
Anthony, like, I'm not saying Mia's bad. I'm saying, like, I think the edit had 2 particular chefs pegged to be winners.
Yeah.
It was going to be either Ariel or Motto, and then Motto quits. So
yeah, that was heartbreaking. But I know Motto is so hell bent on getting a Michelin star to Louisiana, so I hope he makes that happen.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, again, it stinks that obviously you went through all of that, but the fact that you were going through all of that, we're on a tough season, still made a black jacket, that's even more impressive to me, you know?
Yeah, that black jacket dinner service pissed me off so fucking bad, and I'm gonna go out on this because
Sure, yeah, go for it.
they set me up terribly because they were all in cahoots. I was the odd man out. I mean, let's get real. When I went into that black jacket lounge as the winner, none of them wanted to see me. It was very obvious. They did not want me there at all. Nobody was welcoming to me because Brett's like, "Wow." And I remember his fucking face.
Was it dislike for you, or was it just a lot more affection for Kanae?
I think both. Because listen, Kanae is a hell of a chef. She's great. And did I want to send her home? Not at all. I loved her. She had a great personality. She was very likable. I loved working with her. She was phenomenal. And that one hurt for me because I didn't want to be the one to send her home.
Yeah, also the other
it's either you or her though, so.
Yeah.
Also the other thing that season, I remember watching season 18 and I was thinking, I remember, no offense, I was rooting for Kanae. And part of it was, Heather already got her black jacket. She already was a runner-up.
Right.
So Kanae's a rookie. She never got that black jacket. She should get it. I mean, not just by virtue of that, but I feel like, based on what I was seeing all season, I felt Kanae had a better track record. And
100%. She had better challenges. She had a lot better stuff going on.
Yeah. So that was kind of like how I was seeing it. I think maybe the other part of the frustration was just, people looking at it like, oh, Kanae doesn't get Heather gets a second black jacket in her career, which is nice, but still Kinnaid never gets a black jacket just because her dish was in that like final 6 black jacket challenge problem where, oh, you know, it's like 1% less good or something. So it's like, that's what determines your whole trajectory instead of the rest of the season or something. And that's
Right.
what I'm like.
This will be my hot take. Because as much as I like Kane, I was legit kind of rooting for you to get that black jacket again, Heather.
Thank you.
Specifically because I saw you kind of struggling. I mean, from like things like you got an injury at one point during that challenge, correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had like the wine blow up on me. Like I had a bunch of shit happen to me, and then I burnt myself. And
you know, like I kind of want to see you bounce back from this. And
But Ultra, I knew that would. I
honestly.
honestly predicted Heather would get the jacket at that point because of the edit. Like, it's like Heather's like, I'm a fighter, and then Kinnaid's just like, chill, you know, like.
yeah.
And yeah, nothing against Kane. She's obviously amazing. It's just like in the moment, I was like, you know what? Like, go Heather. Let's
Yeah, and on top of that, Kinnaid's like, and I can kick Heather's ass. You know what I mean? Which actually takes me back to another question I was having. It's kind of related to the final season 16. Like, do you have? I remember in the finale, I mean, I might be remembering wrong, but like, I think you referred to Ryan as like a bitch or some shit. Like,
Oh, I
that.
kept calling her bitch face.
What's the context behind that? Like,
So Ryan always has resting bitch face. So I always would call her bitch face. It was kind of like my nickname for her. It was, I don't want to say a love hate because I respected Ryan, but what I didn't like is when it came down to myself, Heidi, and Ryan, production planted seeds in my head about those two. And that's why I chose Andrew first instead of Heidi. Because I was so hell-bent thinking that Heidi was going to sabotage me because her and Ryan were very good friends. They made a very strong friendship on the show. And I remember, like, it was the three of us, and we were trying to have, like, a cordial conversation, and they were like, yeah, you know, we think you're a little too young. It should be us and this and that. And I was like, huh, okay. So I thought they were, like, trying to work me out. So then I go into confession because, you know, at prime time, they grab you to go talk about your feelings, and they just start planting small seeds. They're like, yeah, man, it's not cool that they think that they're better than you. And it's just because they only have a couple more years experience and da-da-da-da-da. And they just kept planting seeds of like different shit that wasn't happening, but made me think it was happening. And then I went back like guns blazing, and I'm like, fuck you. Like, I'm going to beat both of you, like kiss my ass. And then, because everyone's like, oh, well, if you hate Andrew so bad, why did you pick him?
I was just about to say, there you go, fan base, you got your answer.
Yeah, so it's like, we would always play this game with each other. Like, if we made it to the finale, who would we pick if we had this X amount of people? And everybody came down to like, Heidi and Andrew were probably like the top two chefs that were very strong and could help like conduct a kitchen. And everybody was always fighting for those two. So when I thought Heidi was going to screw me over because her and Ryan were such good friends, I'm like, well, shit. Now I'm just down to like Andrew being the first. One person I regret picking, and I'm going to finally put it out there, was Shayna, because I remember Andy had asked me and pretty much begged me to pick Shayna. She's like, oh, she's a great chef, this and that, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay. So she was like, why don't you pick her? As I'm picking my team, I see Andy like pop her head out. And I was like, shit, I'm going to have to pick her. And that's when I kept finding out like she was firing fish and putting it in the oven underneath her. And like overcooking fish. I'm like, this is bullshit. But I will say, like, as much as I hated Andrew in the moment, he stayed up with me until I think 3:00 in the morning that night after we picked teams to learn my menu.
Okay.
He was the only one that stayed up to like learn it the way that I wanted to. I mean, even though like he fucked up during dinner service, but Kim and Devin gave me 1000% of each other. And I'm very grateful for Devin and Kim. Like, I love Kim Roth to death. I've never worked with somebody that has never worked in a commercial kitchen, but caught on so fast and is a hell of a chef. Like, she's one of my best friends. I love her to death.
Mhm.
I have
Yeah.
one more question for you.
Sure.
It's coming from the comments. But
Okay.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier that Johnny screwed over Ryan a certain way. What was that about?
I don't want to go into much detail, but after Paulie's funeral, they had started dating, and Johnny pretty much used her for money. And he left her high and dry in Vegas. Like, she was working and he literally just packed up and left and didn't even tell her.
Yeah,
Like, there's other
apologies.
stuff in between, but like, that's her tea to spill. And I'm not going to do that to her.
Yeah.
But yeah, that apology that he then gave, like I think it's like in the past couple of months, I don't think that suffices for half the shit we've learned in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So
I still I've been trying for 15 years and I still can't get a girlfriend. And somehow Johnny gets all these women. I don't get it.
I don't know
I
how.
don't get it either. Like, really, Johnny?
I don't get it.
all right, so let's end off on a good note. Well, actually, I'm kind of interested in what you have to say about this note. The final question I have for you, because you talked about Ryan, what's your thoughts on your other season's winner, Ariel? Because you kind of just said you thought Mia kind of deserved it. So from our point of view, Ariel's like a top 5 win in history of the show. Do you beg to differ, or like do you feel that way? What's your
Listen,
thoughts?
Ariel was a force to be reckoned with. She had a flawless season. She had great dinner service. She had great challenges. She was phenomenal. Absolutely flawless. But she had a lot of hiccups during her dinner service. Like, her team did her dirty. And I feel like we had a better brigade and Mia handled us better. They had a very similar menu, which was crazy. Like, both Latin flair. But I just feel like it was more Mia's for the taking. But I kind of feel like they already had it in Ariel's bag.
Yeah.
But I mean, Ariel's great. I mean, she's a very well-seasoned chef. She's doing great things, big things. I mean, she's running, a big corporate, chef thing in like the different, like the airports and shit like that. Like, she's got a good job on lock and she's doing really big things.
Awesome.
I'm definitely not going to hate on her.
Cool. And that's a good way to end off. So yeah, that was quite the interesting podcast for sure, with all the lore from 2 big seasons along with this episode to talk about. So yeah, Heather, I mean, it was great to talk to you. Obviously, some of the stuff, I could tell was hard for you to open up with, but I really do appreciate it. I think the chat definitely does as well too. So yeah, any other final comments, and where can people find you and what to expect from you going forward?
So like I said, December 9th, I have a big event going on. It's a local event with some local chefs, and basically we're bringing awareness to mental health and addiction in the food industry. I'll be sharing all that on my social media. Anybody that's local, tickets are still available if you guys want to come. It's a great night. It's a lot of local chefs doing small bites. It's great marketing. It's great awareness. I know whatever money that we get brought in, it's to help like local chefs go to like retreats to help them recenter and, kind of get back their mental clarity, or to send them off to rehab to help with addiction. Like, I'm really, really excited to work with that. And I'm excited for you guys to read my bio and see the photos that I took for the calendar.
For sure. All right. Yeah, it was, again, can't express enough pleasure to have you on. And yeah, I would love to get on more tea in the future one of these days. I might have to bring you back one of these days.
Oh my God. Yeah. You let me know when. I'm all yours.
All right. You go with that confirmation.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks again, Heather. And you have a good night.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Yeah,
Bye,
you too.
everyone.
Heather.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, like I said, either have her back as well and like get the season 16. That's the only reason why I would ever bring back like hated contestants. Oh my God. Our stream would probably like shut down if we brought like, Johnny back along with those guys. Oh my goodness.
Elise, a lot of people have been asking you for that one.
No, I told you guys, I'm down. On my channel, I'm gonna fucking do it.
Yeah. That's why I always
Honestly,
say,
have
like,
me on, Jim, because if you actually had Elise on, I'd be like, oh, I have questions.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think I can.
100%. 100%. I'll try, and I'll be, because I said it. I'm gonna, if I can, I'll personally invite Jason Underwood onto my podcast to ask him.
Oh, that one's a flat no. Sorry. You take care of that one.
Imagine Joseph on stream. That's what I'm saying. Like, it would be such a catch-22. I said it again, but like, if I had Joseph on, like again, I'd probably get like a gazillion viewers. But like, could you imagine? I feel like he would like just like if he would like attack me during the stream and just like try and find. I don't know. I'd just be so freaked out the entire time.
Yeah, don't worry, dude. Like I've been attacked on Discord, so it's like
No, like, but like, I feel like he would just like look me dead in the eye and just like, he'd find out where I live and just, oh my God, it just, freak me out. But yeah, guys, so we still have our game. So Jem, yeah, if remember, just kind of go. That was quite a long podcast, which hey, makes sense. All the lore to get through.
No,
that was more
when you invite season 16 people onto the podcast.
That's what I'm saying, and season 18 for that matter. Not to mention the episode. So yeah, so if you can real quickly go through how many people this time. Then we'll kind of talk about it.
Yeah, actually, this is probably our highest number of eliminees in these 2 times that we've done this, 31. Because I decided that once I got to, there were a number of people with. There's one person with 6 votes. Then there were 3 people with 5 votes, and the rest of the people eliminated had 4 votes because only 9 people voted this week. So that's the worst voting performance out of the 3 weeks so far. But everybody with 4, there were ties, obviously, and not everybody who got 4 votes was sent home. But I decided at one point that everybody who had a voting score is, when they add all the votes that have been accumulated against you over the past few weeks, everybody with a vote score of at least 8 is sent home. So, and that ended up rounded up coincidentally the number of contestants remaining to 300 on the dot. So, without further ado, the first contestant eliminated, the one contestant who got one contestant here who got 6 votes out of the 9 people who voted. Oh yeah, it's true. I have to reveal the states that were safe for us. I'll make that quick. Alaska, Arizona, Connecticut, Hawaii, Maine, Maryland, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, and New Hampshire. Virginia, New York, and California, they were kind of tied in that, but they'll have an advantage next week. But let's get to the real sauce here. First eliminated, we just talked about this guy. Rest in peace, maybe not rest in peace, depending on how you look at it. Ultra?
No, just go through this.
Okay,
Just go through it, Polly.
Let's go through it.
I mean, I don't
Go.
care. I'm gonna still do this. I don't think it. Like, there are people who I absolutely hate that I don't think deserve to die.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I agree. Rest in peace, regardless. I agree.
Yeah.
330th position. He kind of quit.
Just go through them. Aaron, cool.
Yeah.
Just go through them. Yeah, we've been
I
on
didn't
long
like
enough.
him. Go ahead.
Another person with 5 votes. She never ran a brigade. I mean, she never was on a brigade, apparently.
Yeah, didn't care for it. Go on.
Next
We're gonna
up,
speed round this.
Next up, this person served up signature dish 2 times.
What a buffoon.
Next up, we were just talking about this person. She cut her finger.
No, she didn't, but yeah. Gia.
327th position. This person was the Heather of season 19, in a way.
Not really. I never really disliked Heather at all.
No, I meant
Amber,
like with the
she
black
got-
jacket shit. You know what I mean? Like. Next up, 325th. Yeah, it's so boring right now. Like, it's so deadpan the background, I feel. Anyway, 325th position, still with 4 votes. We've got Forrest Gump himself.
Seth Levine.
Yeah.
Creep me out.
Seth Levine. Next up, we've got the man with ginormous pants.
Good riddance to him too. I didn't like him.
I thought he was funny though. Then we got in 323rd position, we've got one of the better first boots, but just was on a very stacked season.
Yeah.
Man, she's still getting hated.
I mean, over that Amber's basically fine.
322nd position. She was very bitter against Elsie.
That haircut I'm bitter against. Please switch that up now.
No, in 321st position, can someone remind me who this person is?
Yeah, that's my
Amanda.
pick. I've always thought her as most forgettable. I remember, I was like, who is she? I usually remember everyone, but I was like, who is she?
I actually remember her for. This is gonna sound like a contradiction, but I remember her because she's so forgettable. It's kind of like.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Mark in season 15. Like there is so much nothing about this person.
Yeah,
that-
nowadays I feel that
Yeah.
way. But when I was first when I watched these, like I literally had no recollection of her. Like that,
Yeah.
I'm the only person. That's why I remember that.
That's
story.
Mark and Amanda for me, but then Brianna like ends up being the most forgettable because of the irony. Like,
Yeah,
anyway,
I guess, but like just
320th position is somebody who I felt should not have been the first boot, but whatever.
Lisa.
Okay, that's the first batch of 11. Now we've got 20 more to go. We'll make this fast. Don't worry.
We've been on for 2 hours. Damn it! I wouldn't walk.
One,
You know,
one hour
Not
40.
quite. Our
Right.
An hour. Oh, you guys are smart asses. I see. All right.
Okay, 319th. We've got the prison chef.
The prison
You see,
chef.
that's the flicking off I have an issue with.
Yeah,
Like you do realize Ramsey's in that freaking vehicle, you dumbass.
I don't think. Yeah, I think he meant to target the girls, and Ramsey just was collateral damage. Anyway, 318th position. He served up an egg that, according to Ramsey, looks like a rhinoceros ass.
Yeah, it's like he highly recommended that the guests not have their side items.
Which was a good
I
move.
got the size right here.
Which is a good move, to be honest. Next up, 317th. Seemed okay at first, but then kind of forgettable.
Deneen.
Honestly, you're kind of right.
Next up, who can forget that she's a vegetarian?
Josie. Dude, she looks menacing from that picture. I'll say that.
She
Compared
does
to
kind of, yeah.
how she was season. She's like
315th, another forgettable chef, but everybody remembers that one line he made about women being not as good at something as men or something. I don't know.
yeah.
Also, he got flustered.
Oh yeah, he got flustered that too.
He saved Barbie. Like I said, if it wasn't for him, I mean, there was good TV, obviously, keeping Barbie, but like, there's no way Ramsey could have not possibly sent Barbie home had Chris not sucked that night. Like, him sucking like saved Barbie. Which,
I'll actually be controversial here and say that Barbie definitely did worse than he did, but
well, that's what I'm
not
saying.
by a
Like,
lot.
I think we can agree with that, but like, it made sense to keep her around for that. And by the way, for those of you guys who weren't here when I said earlier, the plan for next week is Barbie's going to be on. So again, the lore is going to keep coming in, guys. So it's going to be really, really fun. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, 314th position. We've got a lot of bird flippers. We've got Garrett. We've got Alexandra. We've got this guy.
Yeah. And he had a reason to be bitter. A very good reason.
Yeah. Also, have you noticed that the middle finger he gave was like manufactured? It wasn't even real.
Oh, what do you mean manufactured? Like
I think
prosthetic?
like you can see that they photoshopped the middle finger onto his back or something when he gave it. I think.
You mean blurred it?
No, I'll explain another time. Like I think there was like a Photoshop or something. Anyway, next person. One of the weakest people of her season, even though she was like probably the weakest person on her team, though.
Alyssa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who, congratulations to her having a baby. For those of you guys who don't know, I believe her. I know you guys don't like this because everything, but like her and Alejandro are the first Hell's Kitchen baby to make a Hell's Kitchen pair to have a baby.
Oh,
And
you
all-
might not know this, but Christine from season 14 and Chris from season 18 are apparently dating right now.
I saw that of all things. Some two. I'll admit, like two good looking.
or wait, were dating or married? They might be married. Let me double check.
Wait,
No, I
Christine
think
and who?
Christine
Chris
and
from season
Chris.
18.
Yeah.
Chris Mendonca. The hippie. Or
Yeah,
the
I know.
hipster. No, the hipster. My bad.
He's gonna be. Yeah. Hey, that's a good. We always talk of. Yeah, they got to have her on if the Hell's Kitchen goes on. That's quite the storyline.
Yeah, so we've got Logan, we've got Saxton, we've got Alyssa's baby, we've got S4, 7 people on one season against another team of 7. Oh yeah, let's throw on Tia, let's throw on Grant, let's throw on P.
Okay,
Pelican.
yeah,
All
okay.
right, whatever. Oh yeah, and Possum. Then we've got this person from season 9.
This pretty much, yeah. This
The nice girl. I'm like, edit. I don't know how nice she actually is, but you're really
Amazing.
showing her.
Oh,
Then we've got the quiet girl from this season 15.
I didn't like her. Like she was like, oh, I don't take any responsibility for that. You should. That's like you cause your team to lose.
And then we've got a guy who I was so sad to see go when he went.
Shame, but
hey.
he wasn't in love with the competition. I don't think.
Yeah, he
was
wasn't
just-
love for the competition, but he was hilarious. Like
Oh yeah.
Larry sick.
He
Who
got
got
sick.
sick?
Yeah, Jinx
Yeah.
got me. That was an original.
Next up, the guy who actually was booted after Larry.
Gabe.
Yep. Who honestly, like, actually, like, his elimination makes sense when you watch the Raw edit.
Yeah. That's what when I did my second boot break, I was like, oh, maybe, yeah. I was kind of dependent on that, but
And then we've got another guy who put his finger in the risotto.
Yeah,
that is-
like that is just stupid.
308th place. 7 more to go. Another person from season 2. Virginia, who is not from Virginia.
Oh yeah, the guy that Flynn really freaking hates. Despite honestly,
I don't
she's
hate
not
her.
that bad.
no, we're not gonna start this. We're not gonna start this. I was just
Also, did you just misgender Virginia by calling her guy?
I don't know.
Okay,
Like I
yeah.
just call a lot of people guy.
Okay, he said the guy that Flynn. Anyway, never mind.
oh, yeah.
I meant to say girl, but I don't know. Sometimes I just call anybody guy. I mean it gender neutrally.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm
It
kidding.
pissed
Don't
me
worry.
off- Again, I'll say this again. It just pissed me off so bad that she got to the final two. It just pissed
I
me
know.
off.
Same here. Same here.
Yeah, I could not, just
Will
really.
you fucking shut up?
Yeah. I want to keep the win getting so bad. That would been such an iconic final too.
Yeah.
I know it's
Same.
not her fault, but I'm just
Honestly,
saying.
it would have been. You're right.
I know it's not
I
her fault. I'm
agree.
just saying, guys.
Anyway, rest in peace, Keith.
Yeah, well, especially nowadays. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, 306th position. Apparently, he held back the men's team for not just one service, but 2 services.
Mikey.
Good job.
A lot of second boots here, so it's kind of interesting to see.
Yeah.
I wonder if they watch my video and they're like, "Oh, we don't like Mikey." So.
Yeah.
Which, if you haven't watched it, you gotta watch my second boot video.
Yeah,
For the-
Flynn promoting himself on his own live.
Yeah, well, duh. You got to. That's how it goes.
No, dude, promote yourself when you come on my live, okay? Anyway, 305th position. Yeah, this person flamed out hard when they were ejected from service.
Jen. Jay.
Hey, you're close.
I mean,
Jen
we're
is off the
talking
third-
about Jen.
Jen's already out.
Working on my mind.
The third person talking, third person point of view. All right.
304th position. Oh, another person ejected from service. Sadly, right before the Black Jackets.
Oh no, Milka.
Now,
Oh,
Gabriel,
Gabe.
yeah.
What?
I was gonna say-
How is he this low?
Some people, I've always loved him. I know a lot of people just don't like him.
I-
And
No,
yeah.
I like him.
Because the guy
I
sucks
love
in challenges.
I
Oh, no,
love
in,
him.
in service. Sorry.
I'm not gonna
I
lie,
love
him
his underdog.
him
Exactly, that's the-
swapping the noms when he did. I mean, you could argue the ethicality, but it was a little badass.
Yeah, I liked it. I know a lot of people.
I was pissed. I wanted Ralph to stay. Anyway,
That's what I didn't like Ralph. Anyway, go ahead.
next up, 303rd position. We've got another second boot when you if you look at it that way. Tony D'Alessandro.
Yeah, really terrible plea. I admire his passion. Honestly, he had some pretty funny confessionals, but yeah, he wasn't winning.
Now, this guy can go up. This guy can go up against Steve Wilkos in a chair throwing competition.
Yeah, that's funny. That was a good one, Jim. I'll give you that.
Okay, I'll officially relent a little bit on Coop. Maybe it was just those 2 things, and I'm not saying those 2 things are good, but from everything I've gathered, he's nowhere close to the freaking worst person you can get out of season 16. But yeah, the anger problems were a bad thing, and please be respectful to your wait staff. That's all I ask.
Yeah, and last, but not the least, or the least, depending on how you look at it, or her. Excuse me, I meant to say her, because I didn't mean it insultingly. But this person from season 23 pretty much had a T arc and had a flop at the pass because of their attitude.
Wit, yeah, it has to be Wit. Wit.
That's right.
Is that the first? No, we had Amber, and I think
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by that, But shout out to her for what she did for Kyle, though. That was the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's cool. So
All
that's
right.
it. So Flynn, if you would do the honors, drop the links I sent to you in the private chat in the main chat so they could vote for week 5. No,
I
week
will
4.
do that. And while I do that, Jem, are you still making more videos? And what videos have you made since then that you can let the chat know about?
So last weekend, instead of making like my first boot rankings video, I just did a compilation of every first confessional for first boots of Hell's Kitchen. I did that last week, which, by the way, is also technically, which would also include people just simply eliminated in the first round. So it's not just 23 people or 24 people; it's 31 or 32 people, including JR. I did a little something comical for JR. Fuck it. This weekend, I know I kept saying last weekend, and I kind of said this for the past 2 years, my first boot rankings video is going to come out. But the thing is, I've been sick these past 2 weeks. So it was, in terms of my voice, it's not something I was priority. I also got a new job. So it's like that became a priority. So when it comes to the script writing, I had to put that on the back burner. So hopefully by next week.
Speaking of, jokes on you, Jem. I am finished with the whole Drama World Tour, those specific reviews. Hey, I told you I'd get it done by the end of this year.
Years, but good job. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Now I'm going to need some time before I have season 4 reviews ready, especially since I have a bunch of other videos I got to catch up on too. I haven't begun writing anything yet, but I have 2014. Then I have my worst hit songs of 2024, best. And I think after that, my 200th video. So in this current location that I'm in, which I think I mentioned I'm only in for a year anyways, my goal is to at least get my 200 and maybe 201st video out before I leave this specific area. I don't know for sure if that'll pan out, but I'm going to try for it. And I'm really excited for all these videos. They're all, spoilers, all of them are going to be ranking popular music.
And Gumball, you still with us? What can we expect for the power rankings for you next week? Any possible spoilers you want to give, or what are you feeling for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna be my normal videos for the next week. Again, Hell's Kitchen, obviously, but also Amazing Race and Survivor, which those are also seasons that are happening in the year 2025.
Yeah, pretty much. And guys, so as I said, so be on the lookout for Barbie next week. That is the plan, Yeah, I mean, that's all I can say. But that is the plan.
Get well.
And yeah, for this week, as you guys know, I'm going to be going down for my winners. So we start with Ryan. So I'm going to continue down in order until we get to finish off with Ariel. So of course that means that this week's gonna be Alex because we're going backwards. So be on the lookout for Alex's story video for me this week as we finish off that series. And yeah, what a stream this was. Emotional at times, but a lot of tea as well with Heather. It was great to have her on. Maybe we can have her on again some of these days. And with all that said, guys, take care, and I will see you next week for hopefully some more even bigger tea, possibly.
And I'll work on my spinach Michelle impression for Barbie. All right.
Yes, he will. Okay, be on the lookout for that. All right, have a good one, guys. Peace.
Take care.
Carpe diem.